Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Phunware's channel, obviously from blockchain to audience monetization and so much more. And I'm so excited for this chat, man. We got the Chief Operation Officer here with us, Randall Crowder. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That intro gets me every time. I feel like I'm getting in the ring. I like it.
I think I'm getting more excited every time because first and foremost, man, Phunware stock has just been on a tear. Year to date, you guys are still trading up over 180%, but it's not just your stock. I mean, you guys just posted some interim filings there and your earnings were up 50% quarter over quarter, which is incredible. And I mean, you totaled for what for the quarter? 2.2 million. Is there any comments you can have on this? I know the multi-screen as a service business for you guys has really been taking off. Give us some insights here. I'm sure investors are itching for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's been asking, when you're a public company, everybody always asks about inflection points, right? And so, I think when you're an entrepreneur, you have to be just resolute in what you're doing because, the world, expects you to always just deliver, every week. It's what have you done for me lately? And for entrepreneurs, almost every great success story, it seems like it's a 10-year, overnight success story. And so you have to be resilient and you have to have the fortitude to do things when, people are clamoring at the door and wondering like what's going on. And so we've been building a pretty incredible foundation. We've been focusing on the technology. We've been focusing on partnerships. We've been focusing on how do we scale. But at some point, in every story, you start to see where that hockey stick starts to form. And, for us, we think we're getting pretty close. And so if you say, well, what is your inflection point? Like, when is Phunware going to realize all of this potential that we've been hearing about for the last couple of years? I think, there's a lot of really interesting signs right now that, we might be at that inflection point. Really exciting for the company to kind of see a lot of this come to fruition. I think it's an exciting, opportunity for shareholders to still be getting in on kind of a ground floor level. I had a lot of people, writing me still, saying thank you for telling me that, Phunware is a steal at sub $1 because, I made more in one day than I've ever made in my entire life. And some people made more in a day than they made all year. And so, that's the nature of what I tell people about our stock. We have a lot of people paying attention to our stock. We have a lot of people rooting for us. Like what we're doing is exciting. What we're doing is transformational. And so people are looking for what are those objective indicators that now's the time. Like now is the time to start scaling. And so, going into Q3, 50% quarter over quarter growth. Going into Q4, we expect 100% quarter over quarter growth. We announced, previously that we had about $65 million of cash on hand, a lot of damage you can do with that kind of money. But that's just scratching the surface of what I think we're capable of. So we're looking to grow organically, looking to grow inorganically, looking to be good stewards of some of the cash we have on hand, where I would argue that cash isn't always that great of an asset. And so that's why you've seen us acquire some Bitcoin along the way. And so it's a really exciting time for the company. I think 2022 is really going to turn out to be, our coming out party from what we're doing with indirect channels, how that scales our revenue, what we're doing from a cash management standpoint, what we're doing from an inorganic growth standpoint. We made one acquisition with Light. It was our first as a public company. It certainly won't be our last. And then really just seeing the kind of the industry come back. Everything's kind of thawing now. We're seeing a lot more activity in a lot of our core verticals. And so I think, COVID is still alive and well. Breaks my heart. So many people have to deal with kind of the tragic side of such a very pervasive and persistent pandemic. But we are a resilient species, and the world is beginning to try to move on and try to find some sense of normalcy. And so we're seeing a lot of really exciting activity with our core customers looking for our kind of software. And we just announced today that we're live in the Amazon Web Services marketplace, and so things like that get more exposure for the company, and it's really how we kind of ramp from here. So it's going to be an exciting 2022 for sure.
Yeah, you guys are operating through so many different facets, and I hope people are diving more into the business and then just paying attention to the stock price, because that's where things are definitely getting exciting right now for sure. Anybody doing due diligence here. So let's just talk about that one side of your facet here when we're talking about the cryptocurrency side of it, because you guys, like you said, have been acquiring Bitcoin over the last month here. I think you're sitting at what, like 127 Bitcoins. I wouldn't mind if you could talk a little bit about your idea on Bitcoin, and then maybe talking about your own token. You got PHUN going on there, and you've also started accepting Bitcoin for light personal computers. Can you kind of just expand on that? Any other further insights you can offer there?
Yeah, so more than that, we're north of 500 Bitcoin by now, and so
Well, that's good.
think, yeah, that's always good. Look, the reality is, anybody who is just maintaining large cash positions today, I would argue they're being irresponsible. You look at what's happening with inflation. People are always worried about, is Bitcoin going to drop? It's like, you don't seem to be worried that the dollar keeps dropping. When is anybody going to talk about that? And so for us, it's kind of twofold. One, we think it's a responsible way to manage our cash. We have plenty of operational runway. We're not taking money from the business. We have the money we need to grow organically. We have the money we need to really look at, a few kind of near-term possible inorganic opportunities. And the rest, the question is, what do you do with it? We've had some well-meaning banks reach out to us and say, good news, we have this great facility for your cash management. We'll give you 0.5% APY on your cash if you just park it with us. Like, gee whiz, almost a whole percent yield? Wow, thanks. So I mean, come on. I think anybody, but the problem is it's just scary for a lot of people. They don't understand crypto, they don't understand Bitcoin, they don't understand the asset class, and they're going to get left behind. This happens with every single technological innovation, and in 10 years they'll be going, oh, what was I thinking? And so if you are a board member of a public company, or you're a public company executive, and you're not at least researching it and considering it, you're not maximizing shareholder value. We are, because we're steeped in this industry, right? So we have a cryptocurrency ecosystem, the likes of which the world has never seen. Everyone's chasing dog coins right now, things that have funny names. We're building an actual ecosystem that could be used in the real world by mainstream. And so there's a very important part of doing that that is rooted in credibility. And so we're not a fly-by-night, two kids in Romania with a white paper. We're a public company who have years of content, years of actions that back up our commitment to this industry. And so having, Bitcoin on the balance sheet is not only just good treasury management, it's not only a good treasury policy and cash management strategy, it's also important for the community. The crypto community will see through disingenuous behavior, see through double talk. And so having that authenticity of saying, like, look, they are bought in to the future of blockchain is an important part of our story. And you see it, going back to the stock price. So we did, I think, $6.5 billion worth of volume in kind of a single day, almost 700 million shares traded. That's a lot of attention. A lot of people know about Phunware. A lot of people understand, what our ticker represents. And so the next things that we do from here, it's going to be really exciting.
On that note, Randall, I feel like I could pick your brains for hours here, but I think we've gotten some pretty good insights. I appreciate your time today.
Hey, you know what? It's been a pleasure. I want to, get the word out more with people, understand the story. I jokingly say, look, we live in a post-GameStop world, but Phunware is not GameStop. We're not AMC. Those are bygone business models. And that was fun. I get it. Retail markets wanted to shake things up, tell people what's going on, and let people know that retail still had a seat at the table. But Phunware now, come for the meme, but stay for the company. Learn about what we're doing. Learn about, how do you value Phunware if, our fund token, has a, multi-billion-dollar market cap? How do you value Phunware if our fund coin has a multi-billion-dollar market cap? How do you value Phunware just based on the fundamentals of quarter-over-quarter growth that's continuing to accelerate? We're looking at, we put out expectation of a $25 million year next year. But quite frankly, I'm confident in the team that we can beat that. And so, we're excited about what happens next. I told people that sub $1 was a steal, sub $4 is a steal. We are on a tear, and we're going to shock some people.
Appreciate your time, good sir.
Thank you. Have a good one.
In light of this, folks, if you ever have any questions for Randall, let us know what you think in that comment section below, and we can bring it up at a later date as well. But stay cool, stay awesome, and we'll catch you in the next one.